we starting?
Oh, that's a good point, Ryan. Wait, maybe I can quick generate some kind of full screen. NRC, NFL,
Of course,
something.
NRC Talk Sports.
Yeah.
we have more production value in our side
Oh,
discussion.
yeah, I should add into our tags like sports, football, NASCAR.
5 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, wait, he's not dating Danica Patrick anymore, so we don't need the NASCAR part in.
Oh, jeez. Oh boy. Oh my. Oh yeah. I suppose it's fine. So,
So,
yeah, Packers and things.
Packers and things.
Don't
This is
know
an
what's going
incredible
on there.
discussion.
yes, it is.
What's going on there is that there's an estranged relationship, and I don't think anyone's doing anything to help it
Hmm.
Mm-mm.
other than drafting a wide receiver.
Who do they draft again?
I don't remember.
Some good person.
Rogers.
That's it.
We're back
Another-
to Rogers.
Yeah.
There we go.
Rogers to Rogers in the end zone. Touchdown. That's your dagger.
Hey,
Or whatever.
yeah.
You just reminded me of Daggett, which were the dogs in the original Battlestar Galactica.
Hmm.
But they couldn't save any of the Daggets from the fall of the 12 colonies, so they built a robotic one for the kid. It was a whole thing.
I'm still just wondering so if dogs were on the original 12 colonies, where do the dogs on Earth 1.5 come from? Or 1.2?
What do you mean? Dogs survived in...
Oh yeah, the sunglasses dude
sunglasses.
became president.
He had a dog. They survived the second 12 colonies fall.
So at least one dog survived?
I would assume 2. 1 male, 1 female.
Mm-hmm.
So are you saying that it was because of the introduction of these 2 dogs into New Earth that we now have modern dogs?
Yes.
Oh.
This is an incredible sports talk section.
Oh, yeah. We kind of lost the sports.
Did we ever find it?
Yeah. Yeah,
Allegedly. Allegedly. I don't know. I've got nothing. I haven't been paying attention to what's going on.
I've been on and off. It's
Yeah.
How
people
about
keep
those
saying
Brewers?
stuff and
Those Brewers, are the Brewers doing something?
are they?
Curtis, we don't
heard
watch baseball.
I heard the Bucks
Right.
were good this year.
That's what I've been hearing for like 5 years.
Yeah.
Of course, I worked with a guy, Sam, the manager for when I was on campus, my campus job at Reservation Event Services. He was big into basketball, so he was constantly talking about how the Bucks were really good and how they were gonna go really far, and then they never really did.
Yeah, they would make it
Yeah,
to like
it was like
first or
the
second round.
popular
Yeah.
theory that they were going to win it all before COVID hit, and then
I guess that didn't happen.
didn't happen.
What I'm learning is that there's a grand conspiracy against Wisconsin sports.
Yes.
The world is out to stop us from being good.
All those officials calling bad calls in games.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can't wait for the announcement.
Drafting Jordan Love.
Packers are trading Aaron Rodgers for Tom Brady. 1 year, $200 million contract.
I don't think the Packers
Shut
have
up and take my
the
money.
money to do that. They don't have the cap space.
There might be enough owners for the Packers that would support it and maybe put in a couple dollars.
I
Yeah,
see.
everybody donate $10, and then
I see.
I don't think that's how it works.
No.
Oh, Curtis, I told you about how I was ordering that book
Right.
on Saturday. It arrived today. I
yeah.
decided to go on Amazon to see maybe I should order another one just in case.
Oh.
It's gone already.
It's already gone.
Oh.
I go on eBay. Some of them are selling
$700.
for yeah, 120 to like
I've seen
600 or
listings
700.
I saw listings for 600 or 700. I don't think people are paying that at this point.
I think I saw one for the highest one I saw was 5.
Incredible. A bootleg
Yeah, that's
book
interesting.
that you can get online for free and read.
We're living in crazy times.
What an insane world we live in. It's just that
Look
kind
at
of
I
look
just
at
wonder if any
Dogecoin
of
right now.
Those
It's
eBay
just that
ones have
kind of world.
actually, if they've actually sold, or if
I
people
mean-
are just trying and just
right,
gonna
that's what I'm
keep
saying.
listing
There's
it.
listings for $500.
Yeah.
I don't know if people are paying that. I would doubt it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and you're now an eBay expert with your
Sure.
own PayPal account. right?
Yeah.
I've bought 3 things off of eBay. 2 of them were not for me. They were gifts.
Gotcha.
Hmm.
So
So okay, let's shift.
Shifting gears, we're just gonna go from 3rd to 7th.
Yeah. Oh wow.
if you're in an automatic, sure. Actually, no, if you're in a big truck, yeah.
The Passat is a 7-speed. No, it's a 6-speed.
Well, it's a 6 with a reverse.
Right. No.
So which intro do
brain.
you guys prefer? Do you prefer the or the prologue sequence or whatever? Do you prefer Fellowship prologue sequence with the the battle and all that and the lead up? It's more like a prologue. Or the Two Towers rewind to Gandalf falling through the mountain or whatever.
Yes. It's hard to compare the two, Curtis. One is setting up the world for the adventure you're about to go into, and the other is assuming you know where in hell you are and will be slightly off-put by where they're dropping you into that.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe Peter Jackson found a tunnel to fly that camera in and catch the action in progress.
Incredible.
Well, Peter Jackson, he finds more things to film.
Yeah. He should have stopped that when The Hobbit came around.
Mm. Can you imagine if he would have stuck to a 2-movie Hobbit and like
I can imagine if he'd
24
stuck to a
frames?
1-movie Hobbit, it would have been
Oh.
better.
I think two movies would have been sufficient. The
Doable,
book
sure.
is so it basically says the battle happened. This
Right,
person got
because
hurt.
Bilbo gets knocked out or just sits out the whole thing or something.
Right.
Yeah.
He doesn't
So
care. It would have been better.
That would have been actually. I mean, it would have been a huge money saver. They could have
Yeah.
not shown any of the battle.
Right?
Saved millions.
200,000 units already with 1 million more well on the way.
That's why I'm here.
That's a different number 2 movie.
Is it the better of the number 2 movies
No.
of that time?
No.
Darn.
That was also 2002, wasn't it?
Yeah.
What was Martok's quote? Chief, 22,
Oh,
35.
2209.
very good year. Better the vintage than the one my wife sent me.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Oh man.
Okay, so Two Towers. As
Two
we
Towers.
said, there's a semi-flashback sequence. We're back in Moria.
Mhm.
Gandalf says his line.
Yep.
That one line.
About grades and passing tests.
Yes. Yes. It's very
And then-
harsh.
You know, he supposedly says, "Fly, you fools." At least that's what it says, like in the subtitles when he's
That
about
is
to
what he
fall.
says when he's holding on to the ledge.
I just couldn't understand him. I always thought he said something like "blubber, you fools," or
Huh?
he's like "blubber, you fools."
He says, "Fly, you fools."
It doesn't. I don't know. To
Even-
me, it doesn't quite sound that
Well,
way.
Curtis, if you're paying attention, before they even run across the bridge, he's telling them to fly. Fly! He yells it.
Does he?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I noticed that this time I watched it.
Guess I'll have to rewatch these movies again.
Again,
Shoot.
yes. Oh, what a pain, I know, right?
Followed by Scott Pilgrim versus the World, and what else?
Don't have to watch that, but sure.
I was spreading the good news of Scott Pilgrim versus the World at work the other day.
Very
There
good.
were a couple people who hadn't seen it, so.
I have not heard this news.
It involves Scott Pilgrim, the Chaos Theater, and a man called Gideon.
Ah.
They
He's
were
pretentious, his club sucks, and he's got
Got
beef.
beef. All right.
They did ask me for like a summary or like a synopsis, and I was I wasn't quite sure.
There's
How
no
to
good way to
explain it.
answer that.
Yeah. It's I just tried to sell him on the humor aspect of it.
Yeah.
It's a
It's
story
funny.
of this guy named Scott. He's between jobs. That's about it.
Yeah.
I guess.
He fights some people.
And he fights
7.
7 evil exes.
Even though it says versus the world, he does not fight the world. Thank you for coming to part 2 of our Scott Pilgrim discussion. We're happy to have you.
Ah. Your hair.
Yeah, what about it?
It's
So
blue.
I'm changing my hair color every week and a half, dude. Get used to it.
Okay, so
Gandalf
The Lord of the
falls,
Rings. Yeah.
and he fights the Balrog
Mhm.
while he's
Right.
falling,
Oh yeah.
and then they crash into a pool of water, and then Frodo wakes up.
It's only just a
It's
dream.
just a dream. Frodo and Sam are walking around lost in the crags of whatever,
Near the dead marshes. That's all I
near the
know.
dead marshes. They have a name.
Yeah.
And I'm sure John Ford knows that name and will be very upset when he watches this. I
Oh.
believe he is working tonight, so he will not be.
Emin Mule.
That.
The whole scene with Sam and Frodo and going down with the rope,
Yes.
that's not in the theatrical version.
You're
The,
just shattering my reality, Curtis.
Yeah.
I can't
Theatrical
imagine that
version-
scene not in the movie.
Yeah.
Real
the
elvish
theatrical
rope?
version just started with that shot of them kind of climbing over some rocks or something. And him saying, "Mordor, the one place we can't get to, the one place we have to," whatever Sam says.
Right.
Let's face it, we're lost.
We're lost. We're going in circles. They were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, Sam drops seasoning while on the rope.
Salt.
Ah.
Best salt in all the Shire.
That's it.
Bit of seasoning.
In case they find a roast chicken.
Roast chicken.
You never know.
Sam, my dear Sam.
His big blue eyes.
Big blue eyes.
I'm in the middle of watching that interview right now.
Oh, it's such a great interview. Sean Astin, your little hobbit friend, calls you
You're
a beautiful man. A beautiful man. Do you have a response for Sean? And there is, how do I say without being rude, a gay connotation?
No.
Oh, you laugh. Good. Ah.
His laugh and from some of those questions is so good.
Yep.
So they're sleeping, and
All right. they feel like they're being followed, and that's why. Did they bait that? Because they're like awake. I think they're pretending to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They know they're being followed. So they're laying there, and Gollum climbs down the rock, and he's talking to himself.
As he does.
As he does.
Yeah.
And
They grab him.
they catch him.
They catch him. Yep.
And he's screaming. And he's yelling, and it
Right.
burns us.
Well, they tied him up by the neck with the elvish rope. That knot did not come loose.
It's true.
Well, it's kind of funny. I mean, it isn't like super tight around him. You could see he could have taken it off.
Yeah. Though I suppose that's kind of hard to do when it's being tugged around,
Yeah.
especially with his oddly sized head. Or maybe
Mm.
it's
No.
just a regular sized head.
I think
and
it's
his
a
neck is really small.
I think it's a regular size head, and his neck and body are very small.
His eyes are big.
His eyes are big. Got big fish eyes.
He swims around a lot.
He does.
Huh. So look at this. The in the book, this entire first section over here, it's 228 pages. That's it covers all the Gimli and Legolas and Aragorn and Gandalf. And
Right,
all
you
that
don't
stuff.
come back to Frodo and Sam until...
Yeah, Frodo and Sam is the whole second part, and it's
They end in Mordor, essentially.
Yeah,
Like
it's like 100 and
Or...
okay.
No,
170
they end,
pages.
and Frodo's in the tower.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, he's been captured after Shelob.
That's right. The time is a little bit different.
Well, Two Towers begins with the fight that we saw at the end of Fellowship in the book,
Yeah, in the book.
which I think we mentioned, but we'll
The
mention it again.
departure of Boromir.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Boromir.
Strange.
Yeah.
In any case.
In any case, Frodo strikes a deal. He cut a deal to
Mamamoo, I've come to bargain.
yes. I was thinking of Deep Space Nine, but sure, that works too. To gain Gollum's incredible navigational skills in return for taking the rope off his neck.
It's a good deal.
It's a great deal from Gollum's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
The guys on Pawn Stars probably would have gone for that deal.
Oh lord.
So I take this rope off. You direct me. Okay, sure.
Yeah. So that's going on. Is it at this point that we cut away? I don't.
I think so. This is where we go to.
Merry and Pippin?
Yep.
Yes. They're being hauled around.
They're going on a piggyback ride.
Yeah, piggyback ride. His friend is sick.
Yep.
Needs water. Mary.
This is
not doing
also a scene in the extended
Stop it.
edition.
Stop telling me. I mean, if I ever go into scene selection, which why would I ever do that? You know, like it does tell you. It's got little asterisks, like extended scene and new scene, and so it'll tell you. But there are very few times when I'm not just sitting down and watching the whole thing through. So.
So they're all running?
Yes, they're running. One of the Urukai picks up their scent. Picks up the scent of man flesh. What is it? What do you smell?
Man flesh.
They've picked up our trail. They start running.
So this guy must have taken over for the Urukai who got his head sliced off by Aragorn.
Guess so.
Yeah. So he's a running.
They're running. And Aragorn is doing the classic Western, listening for the hoof falls through the ground. It's just footfalls, but
The pace is quickened.
they've caught our scent.
And then there's Gimli. He's a natural sprinter, just dangerous at long distance.
Short distances. He's wasted on cross country.
Ah, that's it.
We dwarves are natural sprinters. Very dangerous over short distances. I think that's a paraphrase from the book, where it talks about dwarves being good sprinters or something. It is a reference to some other thing.
Is that why that big dwarf in The Hobbit was able to run so fast?
But we don't talk about him. I think that's Bumba.
Maybe.
Biffa Buffa Bumba. Ori, Dory,
Nori.
Keely, Feely, Oin, Gloin, Thorin. That's 11 out of 12.
13.
Well, isn't the 13th? Oh, no, you're right. 14th member of the company was Bilbo Baggins.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 11 out of 13. That's pretty good, considering they all have stupid names. And you don't remember any of them other than Thorin and Feely, maybe.
And Keely.
The names rhyme, yeah. Oh, Balin. That's 12.
Bowlin.
Balin's Tomb. Yeah. Alright, I've got 12 of 13. I'm calling that good. Curtis, I don't think you're going to find it. And I don't even know if I'm remembering it correctly, but I thought it was.
So far I found one quote. Gimli says, "My legs must forget the miles. They would be more willing if my heart were less heavy." So I think that's after they had talked to the riders of Rohan.
Sure. I prefer breathe. That's the key. Keep breathing. Oh!
Yep.
It is pretty epic music for a lot of running.
And the keen ear will notice that the theme of the Fellowship does never gets the full orchestral version after the Mines of Moria when the Fellowship is never together again.
Ah, yes.
Howard Shore. Smart man.
Yes. So they're running, and then while that's happening, we get introduced to Éomer when he finds the king's son.
Yes.
The king of Rohan.
Theoden.
Mm-hmm.
His son,
Theodred.
Played by a real actor.
Mm-hmm.
He has less screen time in the theatrical version.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
yes.
He didn't have to learn too many lines, at least.
No. He mostly sits around and does nothing. And dies.
Yep, and dies.
Spoiler alert for this nearly 20-year-old movie.
Yeah.
That feels...
It's too bad Aragorn didn't have the weed.
Everlass.
Yeah.
Well, he gets to Rohan, and Theodred is dead.
Yep.
He died the night before or something.
Darn. Just a day short.
He probably could have saved him.
Yeah.
With his magical ranger healing powers that proved he was king.
Healing hands.
Yes.
And
that's a spell in D&D.
And what was the weed called again?
King's Foil.
That's it. King's Foil.
Everlass.
Yes. King's Foil, that's a weed.
So yeah, Éomer finds Theodred, brings him back, and we see the King of Rohan.
Mm-hmm.
He's all old.
He's looking quite ghastly.
Yes. And we meet Wormtongue.
Mm-hmm.
Who could have guessed that a character named Wormtongue would be ill of heart?
I didn't see it coming.
Never saw it coming. Especially with his palely white skin that reminds you of Snape. And
it's funny, all these guys from Rohan, they're all like blonde hair, blue eyes.
This guy's got black hair.
The one guy with black hair, he's not a good guy, turns out. Except for when Aragorn shows up.
Yeah. But he's descendant from whatever.
The
Numenor?
one of the Dunedain,
Yeah,
descendants of
that was Numenor.
descendant of Numenor.
And that's a thing that I don't know about.
That's also an extended scene.
Yes. Oh, yes. When she's talking to him.
But
with
that's part
the,
2.
Yeah, that is.
We'll talk about
that's
that
a ways off.
next week. Unless we talk about something else.
That's true.
Hmm.
So, Aemir gets
Banished.
kicked out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wormtongue has the signed order.
Yes.
You were banished forthwith from the kingdom of Rohan.
This order does not come from me. It comes from the king. He signed it this morning.
So off he goes.
Yep.
And apparently he took all the good fighters with him.
I guess.
Sucks to
Right.
be Rohan.
Yep.
I think this is where we cut back to Merry and Pippin. They're with the
Oh,
Uruk-hai.
yes.
They're stopping for the night.
We ain't going no further till we've had a breather.
Exactly.
But they ain't had nothing but maggoty bread for 3 stinking days. Why can't we have some meats?
What about them? They look fresh.
They are not for eating. What about their legs?
They don't need those.
They have something, an elvish weapon. The master wants it for the war. They think we have the ring.
Shh.
As soon as they find out we don't, we're dead.
Just a mouthful.
Pound of flesh. Cut his head off. Looks like meat.
meat's back on our menu, boys.
Da-na-na.
It's like the meme when they bring pizza to the party, the boys are like, ah.
Oh, putting meat back on the menu is a
Yep.
meme.
Ah.
Yep.
Your thoughts, Curtis?
Curtis, your thoughts?
It's a thing.
It's a thing. Injecting a
Uh,
bit of humor, levity.
Yep. At some point, we have the shot of Saruman with his hand over the Palantir.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know if that's at this part or
It's
when. but
we probably skipped it.
it's like, whoa. Figuring that stuff out.
Right.
Talking.
The Forest of Fangorn is on our doorstep. Burn it.
Oh, yeah.
That's an important plot point for the second half of the movie.
Yes.
Yes.
The orc goes, yes.
Oh yeah.
What? Then we get back to
Well,
the trio running.
Eventually, yes, very shortly. Because Merry and Pippin are on the ground, and the one orc is about to stab him, and then the horse comes in.
Yeah.
Right, the riders of Rohan storm in during the night, and it looks like one of them might have gotten trampled.
Yes.
Cut away.
Clever editing.
Clever editing.
Although, in that editing, all of a sudden, Pippin's hands are no longer bound, and then they cut to the next scene, they're bound again.
Oh, when we get there again later.
Yeah.
Well, Brian, I never noticed.
Yeah.
Probably still won't. Although, in the next scene we're about to get to, I did notice something, and I can't unnotice it. Amer's sword falls out of the sheath.
It does fall out.
Curtis, did you see it? You should. When the Fellowship meets the Riders of Rohan, Amer's sword falls out of his sheath when he gets back on his horse.
Oh, you've mentioned this
Yes.
before. Yeah, I've never actually seen it.
It's right there. It's center
Yeah.
frame.
But it's very quick. They pan quickly.
Yes, it pans away, and there's no sound effects, so it's like it's not being drawn attention to, but it's right there.
It would have been funny if they would have put the sound effect in. Like,
Yeah.
thunk.
Like when the stormtrooper thunks his head.
Yeah.
Thunk.
Aylmer is actually extremely
Clumsy.
uncoordinated. Yeah,
Yeah.
clumsy.
All right.
Just
So
gets
yes,
lucky.
the trio meets the Riders of Rohan, and they find out that they attacked the Uruks during the night, piled the carcasses, burned them. They did not see any hobbits. Eomer's sad, or regretful, I guess, of the potential of killing someone's friends.
Yes.
Unbeknownst to him. And so he repays them with horses. He's like, I'm sorry I killed your friends. Here, have these horses. I'm sorry.
2 hobbits, 2 horses.
2 horses.
Seems like a fair trade.
I think Aragorn got the better end of this deal.
Yeah, for sure.
So they gallop over to the burning carcass pile.
Yes.
And then there's the part with the most quoted
yes.
behind-the-scenes trivia about that
I think
stinking
we mentioned
helmet.
it in our fellowship.
Yep. He ouchied his toe.
You're going with ouchie.
Yep.
Okay. Yikes.
Ouchie.
Curtis, what did you think of the helmet kick?
Fine. Yeah.
It's fine.
Did he break his toe? Is
Yes.
that what?
Yeah.
Yes. That is what we were alluding to.
Yeah. It's a good moment,
Yeah.
I guess.
What's better is when you watch the behind-the-scenes footage and Peter Jackson's like, kick it harder, kick it harder.
All right, now could you kick it a little bit more towards the camera? Yeah, down the hill. And then this last take, he let loose this yell of fury. And at that point, no one knew that he broke his toe.
It's like, that's great.
That was great. Really got into character.
Nobody really knew that he broke his toe.
Oh man, that's ridiculous.
It is. It is. Curtis, did you know that Dom Monaghan and Billy Boyd recently started a podcast to talk about their many stories behind the scenes?
No, that sounds fun.
Yeah. I haven't listened to it yet. It's on my to-do list.
Yeah, that sounds great.
It does. It does.
So then we get more.
Aragorn being a ranger, figuring out what happened. A hobbit lay here, and the other. Yes.
Skills.
Well, I mean, he has to do some ranging at some point in this trilogy.
Some ranging.
Yeah. Some detective work.
Yeah.
I'd say he's better than Batman, considering he has no technology.
I don't know.
It is impressive he was able to find their tracks in that grass.
He has lots of experience, Curtis.
Maybe it's like in Red Dead Redemption when you turn on your super tracking and the footprints appear before you.
Sure.
I haven't played Red Dead, so...
Oh. It's just a common video game mechanic.
Yeah, you have to use that in order to find the almighty, it's like an albino elk or something?
Sure.
I don't know.
Have you played The Witcher 3 yet?
I'm like right in the beginning.
Witcher senses.
Okay.
Yeah. Same mechanic, essentially.
So, you could have also said Eagle Vision in Assassin's Creed.
I mean, I guess. If you want to go to Assassin's Creed, a franchise that's dead and keeps putting out games anyways.
I played more of those games than anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Aragorn's crawling along and he goes into Fangorn Forest.
Fangorn. What madness drove them in there?
They were followed.
They were followed.
Oh,
And we get
Gimli's line, it's one of the wee belts.
I thought he said it's one of the elven belts.
No, he says wee.
No, he says wee belts.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, when he pulls it out of the carcasses.
Huh. Huh.
He's quite
And we
wee.
get
Huh.
we get a kind of a Star Wars transition as they pan into the forest, and there's like a...
Yeah.
That's cool.
Nice pan. Nice transition. Then we're back, kind of, sort of past.
Yeah.
as Merry and Pippin are running away from evil orc dude. I'm sure his
Yep.
character has a name.
Who wanted to stick a maggoty hole in their belly.
Yes. And as luck would have it, they happen to climb Treebeard.
Yes.
You have a tree named Treebeard.
Eh.
Oh, I'm sorry, he's no tree.
Yes.
He's an ent.
One of
He's an
John
ent.
Rhys Davies' many roles in these films.
He's great.
I always forget that he was the voice of Treebeard. Gratum.
Barum.
So Treebeard steps on maggoty hole orc.
And then proceeds to accuse Merry and Pippin of being orcs.
Yes. He's never heard of a hobbit before.
Sounds like orc mischief.
Yes.
The White Wizard will know.
Yes.
Ooh, yeah, that's the first.
It's a great little fake out right there.
Yes, but it's interesting because Treebeard apparently trusts the White Wizard's judgment that they aren't orcs. Yet at the Ent Moot later, he has to convince the other Ents that they aren't orcs.
They must
Because
not
we have just
trust
agreed
the
that
White
you are not
Wizard.
orcs. And they were convinced by their names. At the Ent Moot.
Yes.
Oh.
He said, I have told your names to the Ent Moot, and we have agreed that you're not orcs.
Maybe
It's just an interesting thing.
you could make the argument that well, we don't know it's Gandalf. Well, actually we do at that point. Gandalf could have just said to trust them and do not fear them. He didn't tell them specifically that they weren't orcs. He just asked them to give them safe passage.
But why?
I don't know.
Treebeard goes to the White Wizard to ask if they were orcs.
But do we ever hear that conversation?
Oh my gods.
We do not.
I hate you,
Is it
I
ever
hate
explained-
you.
sir.
Yes, Curtis.
Oh, is it ever explained how Gandalf specifically got to Fangorn Forest?
He's a wizard. He
Uh,
comes and goes as he pleases.
In the books, it's kind of explained, right? In the book, he tells the whole thing of how he climbed up the mountain or up the tower of whatever in Moria and then found an eagle and hitched a ride, essentially.
Oh.
Always those
see.
eagles.
Yeah,
Those eagles.
them eagles.
I thought when he rolled a nat 20 and, upped his
The stats.
upped his stats, he just gained teleportation powers.
No.
Yes.
Though he is kind of I can't remember. It's gone. I had a thought. It left me.
Is it around his transition from gray to white?
Yes. Oh, right. He's selfish for XP because he sent the rest of the Fellowship off and then showed up with new gear and a new name.
Ha. Haha. Well,
He kept all the XP for himself by fighting the Balrog alone.
that's how it goes.
That's how it goes. So the story goes.
There, he was running free.
Different song, but okay.
So is this where we cut back to Frodo and
Sure.
Sam going through the dead marshes?
Let's go with yes. Well, they're out of the Craigley rocks and then they get to the marshes.
Okay.
That's a scene.
Okay. And don't follow the lights.
Right. They're dead things, dead faces in the water. There's no crunchable birdses, no fishes.
No.
He tries to eat some elvish bread. Can't eat hobbits' food.
He did find a worm.
He did find a worm. He slurped that worm up. Curtis, would you have eaten that worm?
Mm-mm.
No. Okay. Interesting.
Would you have eaten that moth like Gandalf?
Gandalf didn't eat the moth.
But did he?
No.
Darn.
You see the moth fly away.
But do we?
Yes.
So what do you guys think of the Gollum CG?
It holds up.
Does it?
I think so.
It's not bad. For a 20-year-old movie, not bad.
Alright.
It helps that he only has 7 hairs for them to render.
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean,
Just wonder if they didn't they did not re-render any
No.
effects, right?
No.
For the 4K.
They did not.
yeah. I mean, it's...
Maybe we'll get that for the 50th anniversary, like the original series.
So how long will it be until... So, right... I'm just thinking, like, Jurassic Park, that was 93, 92? Because that's probably, like, the start of, hey, let's start creating CG, like, good CG.
Yeah.
So
Was
is
that
that
93?
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Curtis says yes. Okay, we're going with it.
So,
Yeah.
what do you think holds up better, CG dinosaurs or Gollum?
Gollum.
I don't know. I guess it's tricky because I mean Jurassic Park was a blend of
Right.
practical stuff, and so all the practical stuff looks great, and then
Most...
the CG is kind of like filler.
Yeah. The CG is very... It's used in very smart ways because they knew they couldn't make it look really, really, really great. It was just really great for the time.
Yeah, I mean if you look at the Brontosaurus scene thing in
Yeah.
the original Jurassic Park, it's like it looks a little hokey,
A little, yeah.
but what you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? Yeah, they get away with the T-Rex a lot because they were like, oh, it's nighttime and it's raining.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And he has to go chase a flare.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's like it's he was being very smart about it. Gollum, you see in a whole range of different situations, scenarios, lightings. He's in the river at some point catching a fish. You know, like they have to deal with a lot more.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm going with Gollum. Curtis, if you could pick a different actor to have played Gollum, who would you pick?
Oh, none. Oh, I was thinking the other day, I can't believe that Community, the show, never got Andy Serkis to play someone. Like, he seems like he would have been perfect for, like, a crazy character on Community.
I assume because they would have actually had to pay him money. Like, the Jack Black cameo, like, he just did that. He didn't really get paid. Yeah, most of their, like, big celebrity cameos were just, like, favors that they could pull off to get people.
Okay.
Yeah, it might have been kind of hard to get him in there.
Yeah.
Cool idea.
Cool idea. For the movie.
Yeah, maybe.
The movie. That'll never happen. I'm so sad.
It might happen.
It might, but I doubt it.
I don't know. You asked which actor you would want replaced, and that just reminded me so much of Benedict Cumberbatch pretending to be a dragon.
So Ryan's answer is Benedict Cumberbatch?
No, well, that's just where my mind went. I don't want that, but it's within the same-ish universe.
Is
Yeah, I don't know.
technically the same universe.
Yeah.
unfortunately. Anyways, moving on.
Yeah.
Let's get out of the swamp.
Okay.
Even though the Nazgul show up and fly away and some other stuff happens.
They're calling to the ring.
Yeah.
And then
Frodo falls into the water at some point. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So whatever. It's the really, really cheesy 2D ghosts in the water.
oh yeah, that's the part that I watched and I was like, oh, this is fake and weird, and I don't. No.
That doesn't hold up.
No.
Everything else does.
Yeah, not great compositing. Oh well.
Well, I don't think it's the compositing work. It's the fact that they really are just like flat ghost images. Like they don't have any depth to them, any volume.
It's kind of like in the first one when Frodo's dying and he's being brought to Rivendell. And
Oh yeah.
This is, I'd say that this scene is the comparative to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, 20 years later, one scene. Because I don't think there's any big flaws besides that. I'm sure there's little things you can pick out.
Yeah. All right. So,
Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli are in Fangorn?
Yes.
Okay.
Legolas is like, this forest is old.
Very old. Wow. Incredible observational skills from the
Pointy-eared princeling.
Pointy-eared princeling with his elf eyes.
Yes.
I assume that means he has dark vision?
Maybe. Might have infrared.
More Dungeons and Dragons references.
Well, and then it's Legolas who senses that they're
Yes.
being watched?
Yes.
The White Wizard approaches.
Then he points his eyes over to the right.
Ooh.
We must be quick.
Right, he will put a spell on us.
There's suspenseful music. And they
all
go.
their planning was for nothing.
For nothing. Yep, the arrows are tossed aside. Gimli's axe, he just keeps pulling axes out of nowhere.
I have a
whittle
feeling that
them.
dwarves just have a lot of pockets in their jackets, and
Okay,
they just
pockets of holding?
Yes.
Okay.
He's like a character in Skyrim. He just keeps more stuff stored there somehow.
Yeah. Somehow, some way.
So
He throws an axe, it gets shattered, and Aragorn's sword turns burning hot.
yes.
We can tell because it turns orange. And then you have the classic double speak.
Fake him out.
Yep.
Is it Gandalf? Is it Saruman? Or excuse me, Arrowman?
Right. Right. We're going with that, are we?
Can if you want. You don't have to.
Okay. All right. I'll think about it.
Okay.
And we find out it's Gandalf. Gandalf the White. Not Gandalf the Grey, yeah.
I am
Gandalf?
Saruman.
Saruman
Gandalf.
as he should have been.
Yes.
As he should be? I forget.
I am Gandalf the White.
And I've come now at the turning of the tide to do something. I forget.
One thing that has not changed.
You still speak in
riddles.
riddles.
Oh. And they get out of the forest. And Gandalf starts a whistling.
His awesome, super awesome whistle
Yes.
calls Shadowfax, Lord of all horses.
What kind of horse is he again?
I don't know.
Legolas says something. Unless my eyes are
Deceiving me. You're cheating me.
by some spell.
Yeah. If I recall, in the book, Shadowfax was just was his reward for breaking the spell on Theoden. Theoden's like, you can have anything, and he's like, I'll take Shadowfax. I might be misremembering, but I thought that's how it went.
It all works out.
It all works out.
I'm looking. I am looking.
Curtis is looking. How was your day, Ryan?
It's okay.
Okay.
So many words
Good,
in this
good.
book.
Incredible.
Talking about Treebeard and Ents.
They lost the Ent wives.
Yep.
How did they die?
Die? No. We lost them. Now we cannot find them.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure the Silmarillion has stories about the Ents searching for the Ent wives.
Huh.
Or there's some story about it. I vividly remember Julian telling me about it.
Rest in peace.
R.I.P. Poor Julian.
Okay. Here we go.
He's found it. He's remembered.
No, it's the fresh air.
Always follow your nose.
Yes. Legolas says, a very great horse. I have not seen his like before. Gandalf says, nor will you again.
Oh.
That is Shadowfax. He's the chief of the Merias, or Miras.
Sure.
Lords of Horses, and not even Theoden, King of Rohan, has ever looked on a better.
Then I completely misremembered. Oh well.
He has come for me, the horse of the White Rider. We are going to battle together. Okay. Interesting.
It's the White Rider!
That's right. Do the horses talk in
No.
the books?
No.
I
No.
don't think
No.
so.
Eagles do.
Eagles do. But not the horses. Okay.
Although I don't think they really talk to eagles in The Lord of the Rings. That was more of The Hobbit.
Well,
Anyways.
they ride over to Edoras.
Edoras. Yeah.
And this is where we find out that Théodred is dead.
Yes.
There's a whole scene with Éowyn and Wormtongue, and Wormtongue is creepy.
Well, yeah. She's the payment for his services, technically.
Oh.
It's implied that in agreement for helping Saruman put a spell on Theoden, he would get Éowyn. It's implied heavily.
Okay. Well, that didn't really work out.
No.
They get there.
They get there. Theoden is dead.
There's a great violin playing. It's kind of sad and but also heroic.
Ancient, mysterious. No, wait, that's Halo.
It's so new. They get up to the throne of the Golden Hall or whatever.
I think it's just the Golden Hall.
Yeah,
Right?
I think so.
Sure.
They're told that they must disarm by orders of Grima Wormtongue. So they hand him all their stuff. And they're pointing at his staff, and he's like, "You wouldn't part an old man from his walking stick." He takes Legolas by the arm.
Legolas's arm, starts leaning on him.
Oh,
That was always a nice little. I always enjoyed that.
He's wearing his gray cloak.
Yes. Ah, sneaky.
sneaky sneak.
Snake. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Late is the hour
At
blah,
which
blah,
this
blah, blah,
conjurer chooses to appear.
Oh, what is
Keep your
Gandalf's?
forked tongue behind your teeth. Be silent. Keep your forked tongue behind your teeth. Calling him a serpent. Treacherous.
There was something that Gandalf said. The courtesy of your hall is.
This lessened of late.
Lessened of late.
Theoden King.
And we finally get to see Gandalf wield some super magic.
Yes.
Yes.
Non-CGI power.
Yes.
Right, yes. Just invisible magic.
Yeah.
It's the best
Saves
kind.
them money.
Yeah.
Works out.
It all works out.
Doing so there's a fight scene going on in the background
Yep.
because of
Oh, yeah.
Fist fight.
Wormtongue's Goonies.
Sure.
Well, Gandalf is trying to set Theoden free, and Theoden's like, "You have no power here, Gandalf the Grey."
Thought he says Stone Crow.
He says that when he enters.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Why should I welcome you, Gandalf Stormcrow? A just question.
It is a just question.
So,
Pulls off the robe and he's like, "Oh, look at me! I'm so white and powerful."
hey,
He leveled up.
Yes.
magic.
Magic.
He is being pushed back on the chair. My favorite part was they dubbed Saruman's voice in for Theoden during this scene.
Yes.
I was like, oh, that's cool.
It's the little things.
And
Gandalf wins.
more magic. Gandalf wins. Saruman falls backwards onto the floor.
The floor in Orthanc.
And all of a sudden, Theoden becomes younger
Yes.
somehow.
Well, I would assume that he wasn't really that old. It was the evil magic poison withering him away. Sure. Let's go with that.
Yes.
Yep.
Tries to kill Wormtongue. Doesn't. Because Aragorn's like, enough blood has been spilled on his account.
Your fingers, you'll remember
Right.
them better.
Just remember their strength.
Yes. So he lets Wormtongue go.
Where's Theodred? Where's my son? He's
And
dead.
he's got a funeral.
Yeah.
Yeah, the funeral is an extended edition.
That's
scene.
an extended edition scene?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, the funeral itself, the part where Gandalf and Theoden are talking at the tomb, that's in the theatrical version.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, so in the theatrical version, the dude had virtually no screen time.
That's insane to me.
I think the only scene that he was really there was when he was in Edoras, laying on the bed, kind of writhing in pain.
Yeah.
And then that's it.
Dang.
Yeah.
Talk about useless for theatrical release.
I know.
Yeah.
So that guy made his money's worth from the extended edition.
Yes.
Let's see, what else?
That's pretty close to the end.
Is
We're
it?
near it.
See, I don't. The HBO Max doesn't have like a halftime
Right.
or anything. It just plays right through, so I don't even know where the halfway point really is.
It ends when they're leaving to head for Helm's Deep.
Right. But we're still like within 20-ish minutes or so. Because when Gandalf and Theoden are talking at the tomb is when I ended this afternoon.
Oh.
And I was
yeah.
pretty close to the end of part one.
Oh, so I remember what the end is. It's we cut back to Frodo and Sam, and that's when
They get captured?
yes.
Okay.
But
Mhm,
first Gollum finds he has that little talk with himself about how he doesn't want Gollum around anymore.
Oh, right. Leave now and never come back.
Yep.
Master takes care of us now.
Yes. And that's where he finds the conies, and he's like, eat them, they're young and tender.
Gonna make him sick, you will, behaving like that. Only one thing to do with a brace of conies.
No! What's it doing?
Stupid fat
hobbit.
hobbits.
It ruins them.
If only we had some nice taters.
What's taters? What's taters, precious?
Potatoes. Boil 'em, mash 'em, use 'em to play Doom. Oh wait, that's me. Curtis, someone got Doom running on a calculator and then powered that calculator with potatoes. So then they put the picture, boil 'em, mash 'em, use 'em to play Doom, on LOTR memes.
Great.
Is that like on a TI something super calculator?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like a TI-84?
Something.
Gosh.
It was great. What a great picture.
Hmm.
Yeah. So then that's when they see the Oliphants.
Oliphants.
No one at home will believe us.
In the book, this I do remember, Frodo doesn't see the Oliphant. He's like asleep or something.
Hmm.
Maybe he was struggling with the ring's power. I don't remember what was going on with Frodo, but he did not see the Oliphant.
Okay. But Sam did. And Gollum kind of sneaks away after hearing some odd noises. Yeah.
Yep.
The men of Gondor start attacking.
Rangers of Gondor.
Yes.
Men of Gondor. Something.
Oh, we skipped talking about how they did get to the
The Black Gate.
the Black
We
Gates.
skipped that scene in the middle of there.
Oh,
Yeah.
Whoops.
That happened. They didn't go through the door.
No, they didn't. They saw the Easterlings.
Yes.
Who don't show up ever again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is weird.
It is.
Why would you think Peter Jackson would know that that's a setup for something?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Are these the people that followed the Blue Wizards and started cults of black magic?
Don't look at me. It's the triples who are breeding.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Well, anyways, the Rangers of Gondor, they catch them.
They catch them. Put bags over their heads.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the end.
Dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it's, you get some more fantastic cinematography. There's anything that can be said, universally praised of the Lord of the Rings, it's that the cinematography is amazing. Partly due to the fact that they're in New Zealand.
There is one shot in there. It's kind of like an aerial shot where it moves in towards what's her face standing outside the hall of Rohan, the Rohan Hall.
Yeah.
And you can tell that it's reversed because the flag is flapping.
Oh.
It doesn't look like it's flapping correctly. It's like reverse flapping in the wind.
Interesting. I never
Yeah.
noticed.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know either.
Doesn't really matter.
In the grand scheme of things, no.
Yep.
It's not perfect
But it
reversing
is.
like Weird Al Yankovic being able to sing Amish Paradise backwards.
Yep. Do 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 do.
Sure.
Yeah.
Maybe
Good.
I need to set up a camera in here so that I can feed into my little switcher thing. Then I can like zoom in on the words in here. Oh, that one.
Oh, that might be
Dashboard.
cool.
Or we could plan ahead and pick out some phrases and have pictures of them ready to queue up when they come up.
Oh man, that's
That
a
requires
lot of-
forethought, and we're not good with that.
No.
Wow.
We don't do that.
No.
That's a great deal of work.
Yeah. We still haven't figured out our intro music.
Oh yeah, right.
Who
Curtis
knows?
is like reminded every week, and he's always
Yeah.
like
Oh, yeah.
surprised that I'm reminding him. It's like, oh yeah, that
That
thing. I
thing,
totally
yeah.
remembered that.
Boop.
Boop 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 ba-doop, ba-da-boop, ba-doop, boop, ba-doop, ba-doop.
I keep wondering if it's worth it to go out and find some hardcover versions of these books. But I don't know. Does it really matter?
Does it?
Is this
That's up to you, Curtis.
paperback version that I have suffice?
Speaking of
Probably fine.
hardcover books, I just got the original Thrawn trilogy.
Ah.
Ooh,
Pre-Legends. I sent you the photo, but
Oh, yeah. I did see the photo.
Yes.
Were those were hardcovers?
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nice.
Would you like a 20th anniversary edition book?
I'm thinking about it.
Well, wait on that, and maybe something will come for your birthday.
Okay.
Ooh.
Things to think about.
Have you started reading the?
I mean, I've already read them, but
Oh, well, okay.
Yeah.
I borrowed them from Ryan
Yeah.
back when we talked about them.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, yeah, right. Duh.
But
Yeah,
I
you
didn't
read-
have copies myself.
You went through them like really quickly.
They were really good.
Yeah.
What do you want from me?
Well.
Curtis read the entirety of Harry Potter 7 in like one night.
I
That's
did.
true.
I had to know before I went to school, so I could know.
So you
That's
can
right.
know.
Who read it faster, you or Brett?
Mm,
Because I know you guys timed it.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, we were both talking about it at school, of course, after it came out. So
Of course.
I don't know. Yeah, 'cause I think we were just at the Barnes & Noble in town for both that one and the Half-Blood Prince.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty sure.
I am also pretty sure.
That's right. Weren't they having Harry Potter parties or something?
Yeah. The mid-2000s, man. It was
Yeah.
a different time.
It was a different time.
Halo was coming out. People were really excited about that. Ah, the good old days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There
Part
were some
one.
really cheesy CG effects in movies.
Yeah.
Oof. Thanks, George.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a serious decline when John Williams no longer was orchestrating the music. At least I feel that way. Because you listen to the soundtrack for number 4 and 5, and it's just like, it's not very imaginative. It's just kind of,
Okay.
I don't know.
Wait, which 4 and 5? What?
Harry
movie?
Potter 4 and 5.
Oh,
well,
okay.
That's not John Williams. John Williams didn't do 4 and 5.
No,
He
no.
knows that. That's what he's saying.
I
Yeah.
see.
I
gotcha.
was very confused.
Yeah, I was thinking like Star Wars
Yes.
4 and 5. and I
No,
was
no,
like,
sorry.
I don't know.
Well,
I was
said
not specific. I'm sorry.
we were talking about the decline of CGI. I went thanks George, as in thanks George Lucas,
Ah.
because
Nice.
he permeated. He was the beginning of the permeation of CGI everything.
Yes.
Right.
Thanks George, bastard.
I'm
Yes.
George Lucas. Let me just come back in and edit a little bit more.
McClunky.
Yeah, it's too bad. If he would have, I'm sure it was tough. He wanted to get movies out, but if he would have waited 10 more years.
The problem, Curtis, is that in a lot of ways, him doing Star Wars pioneered that CGI work to develop that technology for the 10 years later to be as good as it was. If
Right.
Episode 2 hadn't went and gone all CG, that
Yeah.
CG might not have existed in its state 10 years later.
Yeah, that's a tricky one.
It's a whole chicken or the egg conundrum.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough. I don't know.
It is. It is.
I mean, going back to Lord of the Rings, those were coming out at the same time.
Right.
And
But
they stuck to film, like the good people
they stuck
were.
to film, and George Lucas hadn't permeated the idea of we can do everything in CG. I believe
Right.
I talked about this before, but like.
Plus, when they were making the Lord of the Rings movies, they were creating a visual, an After Effects company.
Oh yeah, yeah. What a digital.
So they didn't quite know how to do it all correctly yet.
No.
They were working on it.
They were working on it.
Although it was because of Lord of the Rings that we now have motion capture, more advanced motion capture.
Motion
Yes.
capture.
Maybe. I didn't watch. I haven't watched all the special behind the scenes stuff recently. So I'm sure that's in there. And you're remembering it, and I'm not. I just loved that for part 2, I'm probably going to bring this up again, but in the Battle of Helm's Deep, some of their Urukai, when they were simulating the army, some of them would run away, and that was due to a pathing issue, but it would look like they were disheartened when they did it. Like, people would die, and then they'd start running, and it was like, well, it just kind of works out, I guess. But it was really just like a pathing issue. Like, the Urukai were trying to run around the entire mountain to get at them or something. It was just like some goofy hiccup.
Hey,
It
all works out.
It all works out. We're driving in reverse anyways.
All right, so overall thoughts of part 1?
It's really great in a lot of ways. Part 2 is better.
Yeah, part 1, it's a good, of course it's a good setup for part 2, but I mean, it's supposed to be one movie.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
of
Crazy
course,
how that works out.
It should work
Yeah.
out.
Amazing. Incredible job.
Well, it kind of goes along with how most stories go. It's a lot of, rising action. It's a lot of exposition, and then, as we get into the second.
We skipped over the
third.
burning of the Westfold, or did we? Is that part 2?
No, we did skip over that.
Oh,
Yeah,
darn.
the wild men are
Yeah.
ravaging the.
All right, yes.
Burning the Westfold.
Yeah.
Where was Gondor? In Gondor,
Right.
you silly goose. People have been asking where was Gondor when the Westfold fell. I have this map and have circled where Gondor was. Right there. So
When
many memes based off that one line. It's great.
When our enemies closed in around us, where was Gondor?
That's part 2.
That is part 2. Join us again for part 2.
I hope you do join us. I suppose we'll have more complete thoughts to offer.
Yes.
With part 2, because we will have then talked about a complete movie rather than half of a movie. Yes.
Yes.
I don't know half of you half as well as I should like.
And I dislike less than half of you half as well as you deserve, or I like less than half of you half as well as you deserve.
Sure.
Yeah, something like that.
Hey, he doesn't make an appearance in this movie, does he?
No.
He does not.
Weird.
Took a little break.
Sat back in his trailer. Was like, call me when you get to the third one.
Well.
I know that's not how they actually filmed it, but it's funny to think about that way. Curtis, are you excited for this Friday?
Should I be?
Mass Effect Legendary Edition?
Oh, yay.
Wow.
Is it shipping to you?
I could get it to ship to me, I guess.
Oh, do you just have it ordered somewhere, or?
Oh, I was just gonna go into a store and buy it.
Oh.
Physical copies aren't really in high demand these days. Sad to say, but you can walk in on launch day and just buy something. We just live in that kind of world.
Except if you want to get an Xbox.
That's true. That's a whole nother. That's a hardware issue.
Cool. Well,
Yeah.
that'll be fun.
It will be.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah. Okay.
Or don't.